Use these over here. I think we're. Yep, we're up. Oh, hey, the audio is on the whole time. Boom! Oh, wow.
It was?
Yeah, I forgot to turn off the audio.
There you go.
Well, hopefully I said a bunch of cuss words.
Nothing.
Hope I said cuss words. Hey, well, either way, welcome to the show. That whole fade in didn't work out. I guess I forgot to hit that button. The reason why I forgot to do that is because we were a little distracted. Oh, we wore the same shirts today. Yes. I just realized that. That is hilarious.
I saw it on the show.
Yeah?
In the 5 minutes with 5 stars.
I didn't even realize it until just now. I don't typically look. Anyways, the reason why I was distracted is we have a guest tonight because earlier today on Instagram, someone was like, I think it was Christian, was like, do you guys have a guest tonight? And I was like, I mean, I can. I know a guy. And just as I said that, I was flicking through Instagram looking at dog videos. And I was like, oh, dog videos. I like dog videos. And I sent it off to Brian. And Brian immediately texted me back. Actually, he called me back. I don't remember why, but it's okay. And so here we are. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Hi.
Hi.
I think I was talking about this stupid Dodge truck.
You were.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you were doing. And let me do this before I forget, because we get talking and I forget. I do have to put this up on the top of the screen because, hey, they're paying the bills. If you guys are interested, head over to Audio Control. Check them out. They got a bunch of new stuff. And also tune in Monday. Your friend and mine, Matthew Palumbo, will be on the show here in the studio.
Ooh.
And maybe Jeff Smith, that guy. Do you know Jeff?
Jeff who?
Yeah, exactly.
The Jeff.
The Jeff. He might be on, which I got to be honest. It's like when he comes on, he just pretty much trumps all the guests, which really sucks for the other guests. Because it's like, hey, can I ask Jeff a question? Yes, please ask Jeff a question. It's kind of like, it would be a fun show is to have the two of you guys on. Yeah. And it'd be cool to have you in studio, though, because we could literally, Fernando could be on one side, I could be on the other side, and we could just slowly fade out of the video.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah,
that would be great.
It'd just be Brian and Jeff, like, battling it out. Hey, remember that one time, like, your car sounded like crap? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Remember that one time I tuned a car and then judged it and it won? No, I don't remember that at all. Ooh, that hurt.
I'm down for that. Me and Jeff are friends, so.
Oh, yeah, here you go. Do you know, did I ever tell you of his, like, unnatural obsession with Raisin Bran? Post-Raisin Bran. Jeff's favorite food is post-Raisin Bran.
I do remember that.
These guys sent him boxes of post-Raisin Bran. It was very scary.
Yeah.
And then Fro sends him, he always sends him those, the animal crackers that have frosting on them, they're like pink and white with little dots of joy.
Yeah.
You ever seen those?
Dog. Yeah.
You feed those to the dog?
Yeah, those dog treats.
He even
the human treats.
He even get that T-shirt that says the serial killer.
Nice.
That was great. I was like,
Haley made him one, and then they got him one.
Yeah.
But either way, we'll just go here. Happy Veterans Day to all my fellow vets. Very much so. Very much so.
Veterans Day.
And Baba, almost time to send another case. Let's not say we did. He's on a diet. Everyone's on a diet.
He changed.
Yeah.
He only eats.
Almost New Year, so we got to be.
Bootios. Okay. Yes, they got him. They got him a shirt. They got him a cereal bowl, and they got him a spoon.
Yeah.
Can't eat cereal without a spoon.
Package.
Yeah, and guess what we got? Nothing.
Well, we got them, and then we give it to him.
Everything is shit. So how you doing, man? It's been like, I don't know, a day or two since we've talked.
Yeah, like 2 days. Actually getting ahead on a project, unlike most times.
I want to tell you right now, he's going to be getting behind on that project right now, so we're okay. For all you guys that are in the comments, if you'd like to ask questions, now's a good time. Queue them up, get them in. We'll ask Brian. Since he's our guest, we didn't bring him on for any particular reason other than it's Brian.
Fun, yeah.
And so if you guys have questions, anything that you ask will be directed towards all of us. So by all means, get them in. Fernando will start churning through them. So ask away or just whatever in there again. Yes. sent you the Crocs. So in a Haley video, which you watched, The Boring Life of Dean and Haley.
Yeah.
This was a couple years back. We were looking for flip flops. I needed new flip flops, and Haley wanted me to get a set of Crocs, and I will not wear Crocs. So,
Well, you should.
Danny sent me 2 little plastic crocodiles.
Well,
which is,
he mentioned something on the Instagram. It's like, Dean, I'm gonna send you a pair of Crocs.
Yeah.
Because I really, want to send you that.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did. So when we opened it, that was funny.
So I can tell you exactly where they're at right now. So they're in the backseat of Haley's car because in the morning when we take Grayson to school, we still play with the crocodiles.
There you go.
So those are like the car toys. Mm-hmm. So he'll bring in toys every now and then, but those are always there.
All right, Joe. So this is a question for Brian.
What is it like to hang
with?
Yeah, Ada's crazy ass. Ada was
crazy
great host. His guys are awesome, quick learners. I went up there and did a training, for tuning training up at a shop. Brought a couple extra guys in from around the area. It was a lot of fun. We had a bunch of good food because Ada likes good food.
Oh, so he's a foodie. Yes.
He is definitely a foodie, and he was showing off a lot of good food. You should ask him if he knew there was an aircraft carrier around there.
Oh, that okay. That feels good.
Since he's lived there his whole life.
Yeah. Are there any chances of new? So this is an ARC audio question. The reason why Brian, for those of you guys who don't know, Brian in his part-time job works for ARC Audio.
Yeah.
It's a side job.
Yeah,
so
my side job. Yeah.
Side job. Standalone 10-channel ARC DSPs on the horizon. Now, keep in mind, you actually don't have to answer this because it's like. But how many channels does Blackbird have?
Blackbird's 12 channels. So we have a 12 channel on the horizon. Now I say that, and everybody's going to say, when am I going to get it? Should I hold up my install to wait until it comes out? No, because the world that we live in today does not move fast. So
no.
Yeah.
So the Blackbird is a 12 channel though, 8-channel amp, 12 channel DSP.
Right, but the DSP section is 12 channels. So we will have a standalone 12 channel for sure. And we're going to have I'll talk about it a little bit, but we'll have a 2-channel as well. So
one band, 2-channel DSP?
Yeah, one band per channel.
Okay, so seriously, tell me about the 2-channel because this is actually intriguing.
Yeah.
What okay, and the only reason why I asked that is because I ran into a situation the other day where I was doing subwoofers in a car, and it was flat. It was a flat signal, but the amplifier I had that we were using didn't have any form of bass equalization to it. So it didn't have punch bass. It didn't have what I like to call the Mo Better bass button, which you're familiar with. And so what the problem I was having is that there was no liveliness to it. There was no action. There was no, and I was like, man, it'd be really cool if, like, other than an Epicenter, because an Epicenter just kind of like does Epicenter things, which I love, but I knew that I didn't want. He just needed something that I could just EQ his subwoofer.
Yeah. So a lot of cars now, they may have very complicated systems that you have to use a ton of DSP with, but there are still some entry-level cars that just have 2-channel out front and rear, and a lot of times you're just using the front channels for integration, and you want to have a little bit of EQ on there, and more than the factory has, obviously, and you want it at a price point that makes sense. So that's on the horizon still. And again, if you call me and say, should I hold up my build, I'm going to tell you no. Build whatever you're going to do. And once it comes out, I'll be happy to talk more about it. But that's the thought, is just something that's a better DSP than some people are doing. You know, there's a lot of entry level DSPs that have tons of features, tons of channels, and they just don't sound very good. So ours will be a smaller DSP, keep the cost down. You know, it won't be a fancy box, but it will have lots of features and it'll sound good.
Very nice.
And price point, you know, being a big thing for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Whoa.
Oh, it's Elias. You're doing great today, Elias. You're doing great today. Oh, and Sue says hi. Yeah, I guess.
Scary.
Yeah. Smaller than a PSM Pro or PSM. So I'm guessing we're thinking physical size. Now Ada wants to get specifics, which of course I understand, but
yeah,
there are no specifics yet, right?
No, none that I can talk about. No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The fact that you gave him that much information, to be honest with you, is pretty
well.
surprising.
I mean, you know, it's some things. You know, we want to talk about more, and we want to make sure that they're in the pipeline far enough before we talk about them. But this is also how we get some feedback. Is, you know, if everybody goes, well, that's pretty stupid, then, you know, we have that feedback. If they go, that's the greatest thing in the world, you're going.
Well, okay. So one of the conversations that I had while we were out in Vegas at that SEMA thing that we were doing, whatever that was, is that we were talking
in the desert.
Little thing in the desert, and we were, you know, in the morning we always had meetings before we had to start. So we'd get there at 8 o'clock or 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we would go off and we'd have meetings with other vendors of ours that we deal with. And one of the things, because obviously what we do is we talk about stuff, and that's why these guys are advertising on the show. And you know, we've done stuff with you guys before, ARC and whatnot. Is that a lot of these market departments feel like they're introducing new Coke, and you're old enough to know what I mean by when I say new Coke. And the reality is that, you know, a manufacturer, pick any one of them, could come out with the coolest thing in the world tomorrow, and 99% of the population would have 99.9% of the population would have no idea.
Yep.
And even in our industry, like, most people would have no idea. Like, you know, you guys have, you know, like we have the PSM Pro sitting over here that's AR compatible.
Yep.
It's the second AR compatible DSP on the planet. And only, you know, obviously the DSR1 has been in the pipeline for 6 years with Rockford, and you guys came out with to answer the question that everyone has asked. Is there a more advanced AR compatible DSP? It's like, yeah, ARC makes one.
And we have for a long, you know, we've been AR compatible for 4 or 5 years, and nobody really talked about it, and it was kind of an overlooked segment. But we were just having this discussion in the office day before yesterday. We have lots of cool little products that are solutions. I mean, they're not something you need every day. We got the noise gate, so if you have a car that has hiss on it, we have that. We have the BXM, which solves a lot of problems. I sent one out to a guy to try for an issue he was having, and it fixed it. And you never know you need it until you need it, and then if you don't know about it, you just never fix it. So,
well, they're all sitting in that drawer right there, just in case we need them. So
well, exactly.
Because we talked about all those last time I had you on, because it was like one of those things where it's like, here's these 3 cool things that ARC Audio makes that nobody knows about. But I mean, in general, as an industry, not to lean too hard into your life,
no, for sure.
It's always funny that it's like, I mean, which we still talk about how many people don't understand the concept of an amp pro, you know, and it's scary. All right, throw up a question.
Hang on.
What are the balloons? So Baba asked, what are the balloons? So you guys now, you can, when you like give thumbs up and stuff like that, it appears on the screen. That's a new feature. That's why those balloons were happening. We're not doing that. That's a new thing that you guys, the viewers, can do. So like you can have the smiley face and the thumbs up. Those all pop up on the screen now, which is so cool.
It is so cool.
I thought there was going to be a crazy clown popping out after that one.
If it was a red balloon, yes, then we'd be worried. You know, it could be a giant tarantula from space hiding in the cul-de-sac. Yeah. Hey, good afternoon to the 5-star team. Is there any T-harness for a 2023 Honda CR-V hybrid motorsport Bose 12 speaker system? The reality is probably not, because that's really narrowing it down. However, the company right now with the most T-harnesses is going to be Metra. Pack-audio.com has a bunch of new harnesses. They've realized that this should be a thing, and they're getting back into it. They've done it before, but now they're getting back into it. But Metra has done it before too. Then they decided to package them with the DSPs, and then everyone yelled at them. So then they're like, okay, we'll take them back out. So definitely I would check one of their 2 pages, but that's really all I got for that.
Okay.
I already have a DSR-1 in my 2018 Camry with JBL. Would there be any sound quality upgrade to switch to an Amp Pro or a DM608? So, this is a fun. We actually had this conversation the other night, Brian.
Yes.
Because you were asking me about the RAM that you're working on, and you were talking about going with an Amp Pro because they had the Amp Pro, and I go, why in the hell would you do an Amp Pro when you could do a PSM Pro AR into the radio and just plug your DSP in? And you were like, shut up, Dean. So
I still could end up using an Amp Pro, unfortunately.
Well, okay. So, and then I said the reason why an Amp Pro makes sense in some situations is if you're going to do a big DSP on the other side of it, then yeah, an Amp Pro makes sense. But for this guy's case, he's already got a DSR-1, which has 30 bands of equalization, 8 channels, time alignment. There is nothing, a 608, feature-wise, there's really no difference between the two for what you're doing. So, and if you go to, yep.
Is he using the DSR-1 with an AR, or is it just DSR?
Yeah, because no, it's AR because it's JBL, so it's 2018, so it'd definitely be AR. So, I mean, if you switch to an Amp Pro and a DM608, for one, you'd have to put the JBL amplifier back in, which would suck. 2, you're really not getting a lot more features with the 608 compared to the DSR-1. And any sound quality gain you're going to get is going to be lost by going to the Amp Pro. If you want to do a substantial difference, like if you're ready for a bigger DSP, like that's the goal, then go ARC. You get an AR. It's going to plug in the exact same way. So the DSR-1 and the PSM Pro with the AR are the same harnesses. So you don't have to do anything else. You can just unplug a DSR-1, PSM Pro AR, 8 channel. Yeah. Can they plug a Blackbird in too?
Yes.
Or you can do Blackbird if you want to get rid of your amplifiers.
Or you could do a PS8 Pro. Any of them.
PS8 Pro.
Any of the Pro Series stuff is AR compatible.
So there you go. So if you're looking to just get crazy, run around with your pants around your ankles.
Oscar.
Oh, look who this guy is. Hola, amigos. Is that my best friend, Brian Mitchell?
Hell yeah.
Well,
I saw him cruising in the Tesla. Tesla's looking good, too.
I feel Oscar is a very indecisive individual. He can't decide, you know, because is it black or is it white? Is this like, I feel like we're like Michael Jackson / Paul McCartney going on here.
No,
you know,
it's Scarface. It's Scarface. You know, with
I like the other one.
Thing, you know?
Yeah.
No, I was thinking more of like, is it black? Is it white? Yeah, yeah. That's a song. Anyways, Ebony and Ivory. Dougie Fresh. What's up, Dougie Fresh? Okay.
All right.
Okay, I realize that this is off topic, but it's okay. How do you feel about Steve Meade's DD1?
So when the DD1 came out, there wasn't a lot of DSPs being used. And as long as you follow the directions, the DD1 can be a good tool. If you're doing OEM integration, sometimes that can go not so well, because if there's any EQ there and you're using the DD1, so let's say the frequency of choice is 1K, and if there's a dip at 1K, in the frequency response of the factory head unit or whatever there's a DSP on, and you use a DD1, it's going to give you a false reading. Now you can use, I think it's 4 different ones for the DD1 to work, but it's as accurate as most oscilloscopes. So that is a plus. For SPL systems that don't have a DSP in them, it works well. I mean, anything you could do to keep from blowing up speakers is going to be a positive. So I think there's some good things with it, but there are some downfalls to every tool.
Yeah, and there again, I agree with everything you're saying. It's definitely, things are starting to go now with a lot of. I mean, when the piece came out, you were doing an aftermarket radio. You're going to amp. I mean, it worked. What it does the best that it does. It's just now the application is starting to change. And there again, like if you had a DD1 and you had an RTA, IRTA2, just saying, and you could see, and you're playing like pink noise, and you could see what the EQ looked like coming from the factory, and if then you'd know, okay, I can't use 1,000 hertz because it's like on the floor, or I can use 1,000 hertz, or 40 hertz doesn't even exist in this car, which happens a lot of the times. In some of these cars, there is 40 hertz. Well, there is no 40 hertz.
Yeah.
And then, like the BMW we did the other day, 40 hertz is going, how many volts do you want? We have all the volts.
All the volts.
We have all the volts that you need. We will set fire to your high-level to low-level adapter. So, there again, it's still a great tool. It's just applications now are getting more exciting. I still have my Precision Power PCE 440 noise gate in white with pink letters on them. So let me ask you this. What was your amplifier of choice back in the day?
Oh, that's a tough one. I started out way back in the day with Concord amps. And that was some of the first ones I used, Concord.
Concord or Concord?
Same thing. Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Tomato.
Okay. Just making sure.
The same.
I know.
Same ones. I had some Orions, and then I switched to Hyphonics, and then Lanzar, and I was a big Lanzar guy for years. And then I went to Linear Power, and then ARC started, and I've pretty much been ARC since then.
Let me just say, nice to see you, Lewis, and thanks for watching the replay.
Thank you, buddy.
Go Portugal. Okay, go on. Sorry.
No worries. But back in the day, I would put anything in a car, and I had sponsorship. Sponsorship was way different back then than it is now. So I had 6-month sponsorships where guys who wanted to, they didn't necessarily want to win everything; they just wanted to be on the podium. I was really good for that. I could take some, normal stuff and get them up on the podium, or at least get them good showing at finals and get them some advertising. So
okay,
yeah,
he was a shill.
Yeah.
He's always been a show.
Yeah.
No, a shill, not a show.
Oh, sorry.
All
right, here we go.
Climb that one.
Yeah,
any big difference sound quality wise between the DSR1 and the 608? Yes, there is going to be some sound quality differences, mainly because, but there again, you're switching out Amp Pro, DSR1 for Amp Pro, so any gains are going to be lost there. So, because obviously it's a bigger box, it's different chipsets, but the DSR1 sounds really good too. So if there is any, it's going to be very it's going to be hard to tell the difference. Let's just go there. Would you agree?
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just they're both going to do the job. If you already have one, I don't see any advantage to switching. If you were going to buy one or the other, then it goes down to which dealer has the best service for you to be able to deal with at that point.
Whoa, spoken like a true pro.
Yeah, I mean, all the stuff in the world is only as good as the people backing it up. So,
wow, that's those are words to live by.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is.
Hey, Brian, welcome. What's new car audio innovations and builds are in the works? Just wondering what the bar is moving to in your lab of greatness.
And this is the owner of the car that he's working on. It's like, why are you not working on my car right now?
Could be. So, all right, let's break this into a couple questions to have it make more sense to us.
Sure.
What in the last 6 months, Rod, have you seen in car audio that has just been you've gone, that's cool, that you would like to play with? Let me narrow it down. Anything at all?
And he froze.
Yeah.
You're walking by me.
Which, to be honest, is kind of, and I get,
Nothing.
trust me, I get your struggle, because this question, somebody asked me this question the other day too, and I was just like, I don't really know of anything that's come out in the last 6 months or in a year or whatever. There's a couple things that have come out that I just want to see how they actually work. Like I want to grab my phone and do this in a car.
I don't.
I know, but
I don't.
I mean, okay, I want to have the camera out and do this and scan the car. How's that?
There you go.
Yeah.
I think right at the moment, all of the really big innovations are on the install side, and very little on the product side. I mean, even the most cool DSP right now is just refining, what's really great with DSPs at the moment. You get more channels, you get this, you get that. I don't even know where you could go with DSP technology. Amplifier technology, we're so efficient with new D-class amplifiers, and sound quality is so good. It's hard to differentiate between AB, G, H, and D now. I mean, we just set up a listening room just to do that. We're going through every single amplifier that we have, and then we're throwing a lot of them that we have in the back room of other companies that we test against, that have good product, and trying to see if with trained ears there's even a sound quality difference, or if it goes back to the best footprint for the job, the best tool for the job is more important, which is kind of where we're at right now. I mean, the tool for the job is more important than anything. But on the install side of it, the big 3D printers, I just saw one this morning where on Anthony's page, where he had a post of a full-size OBS truck dash that they printed.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
amazing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell what shop that was. It was on his page, but it was a very beautiful shop in the background. But it was.
I saw in the picture that the speakers were kind of like aiming up on the windshield.
Yeah, that's a different issue.
Topic.
Not necessarily how. But if I had that to start with, if I had the technology, or not the technology, if I had the printer that was big enough to print that piece, you're talking about a $65,000 to $100,000 printer to be able to print that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing 3D printing, but it's got to be on such a small scale, and the scale of that is amazing. So he's an awesome installer. I love all of his work. He's really, really good. So, but there's a few guys out there that are really pushing those boundaries on install. David Cruz and guys at Chris's shop. They're all, but they're putting in hundreds of thousands of dollars. Of machine
bill. Yep.
To do that. So when somebody goes in and they say, how much is it to do this? And you get a bill, a quote for $120,000 for an interior. That's why. So,
yeah. So, years ago when the 3D printer was just coming out, the business model that I was pitching to, no one that would listen is like, when you look at like Metra and you look at like Amp, and I could see in a world where we all have 3D printers where I'm just going to pay them a monthly fee, and they're just going to open up a library to me. And they might even, I was thinking that at the time they would supply the 3D printer. Like I would just rent the 3D printer from Metra, and they would send me the supplies and whatever it was. And if I need a set of brackets, I'd go into their library and just print instead, no shipping costs. And it would just be, and I would pay per print, kind of like the tax guys do.
I think we lost him. I'm not sure. Am I still on?
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you are.
Don't know what happened. Internet just did stupid
for
stuff.
For some reason,
you started coming up with such a good idea.
Yeah. So exactly. So we're just gonna stop talking about that.
The Illuminati just cut you off right there.
Totally did that. That was some crazy stuff.
And I got to stay on because I wasn't taking a position.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. But you understand what I'm saying, though? Like that would be a great business model for us as an industry. It's like, oh, I need these brackets, print, and then I or I just have a monthly fee of 120, 200.
It's a very inefficient way of doing it. Other than Metra has to buy, or they gotta push out a lot more kits than they're ever going to sell. So the kits.
Well, yeah, but on their end, they don't have to stock them anymore.
No, I understand, but that's what I'm saying. But the price per kit is still really, really cheap compared to printing it.
Probably, and there again, this is one of those future ideas of mine. That
but I feel now like everybody's getting there.
Yeah, we're close to that now because you can buy a good fast printer, a really good fast printer for $1,100.
Yeah. So
the Bamboos are awesome. They're really fast, probably 30% print time compared to an older one. And then they're, if we can scale that up to be as big to build a full-size dash, then it's going to be a no-brainer. You want a dash, somebody designs it. You'll have guys that just sit at their house and design it.
It must be California time. Sorry, I'm late. DNF, Brian,
Mike,
teacher. Turkey sandwich and a Diet Coke, baby. Boston cream.
He say I mentioned creature.
Double feature.
Double feature. Yeah, King Kong definitely destroyed the feed. Yeah, dude, that was weird. It's very strange that it did that.
All right, I have this one because
I wonder if it connected to Wi-Fi.
Again, it had to connect to it. So just leave it right now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Just leave it.
Mm. Regardless of channels and price, which amp is king? Okay, I know
King Kong?
this is going to be a highly biased answer because of that logo behind him that says Arc Audio, but let's take Arc Audio out of it for just is there any other? Because I know you're going to answer this honestly because you sell stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any other crazy priced, insane, like that giant thing that Tony makes or those Italian things? Is there any of that like, I know you would never buy it because that's not you, but if someone showed up, you'd be like, oh yeah, I'll put that in.
I'll put anything in. I don't care if somebody's paying the bill.
You know what I mean.
You gotta pay the bill.
Exactly.
So the question is difficult because I think that there are a lot of good amplifiers out there, and a lot of times they get overly hyped or they don't get hyped enough, and it has a lot to do with the install. So the install to me is gonna make a lot of amps shine and can make a lot of amps not look so good. So I'm going to go back to my statement earlier which is the amplifier is a little bit less important than the person putting it in and the company who makes it, and if they stand behind it. Because, I mean, I can on one hand, I can name off a lot of good amplifiers. The Pro Series, Moscone, the
No, that's good. You can stop there because there's
stop there.
You're good. It's far enough. Head over to Moscone-USA.com to check out that Moscone Pro. 830 right there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah. Now that I've done that. Now let me say that if you go by trophy count, then the SE is the number one.
Hey, trophies don't matter.
No, but like you say, most of the time we have good product that is installed poorly, and that's what we get, right? And
installed poorly, or which is more of what's happening with high-end product, is that it's not finished through properly. So the basics of installation are not followed when you're talking about an SQ system. And most of these people are not talking about they want the best amplifier so they can sit in their garage and listen to it. And I always try to get this across to shops that when people
this is an inside joke, but yes, trophies do matter. It's an inside joke. Yeah, sorry. No, trophies do matter. They do. I very much like the ones I have.
Okay, so just to recap on this one, what would you tell him if he's looking for a good amplifier?
Well, I mean, if I have a hard time taking mine out because I think ours is, so the SEs, but SEs, the Pro Series, Moscones, the True Billets, the Billet series,
right.
The
all of them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah.
Audio Waves, there's some really awesome amplifiers. Now, I've also seen some really expensive amplifiers that I would not put in a Tykes car, little Tyke, the pedal cars, that I would not put in there because, we hook them up on the bench and they start making weird noises just getting tested. And I've seen some really expensive amplifiers that did that.
We've had some really expensive amplifiers not be able to pass just the basic dyno. So, and no, we don't talk about them because that would,
right. No, but if you're, but then the second layer to that is if the shop that you're working with that you trust enough.
Yes.
If the shop that you trust enough to give them one of the most expensive things that you buy in your life, your car, then maybe whatever they sell, because then they can warranty it, they can get it serviced. I would probably follow that. And
well, I mean, as a camera guy, myself included, when you updated your camera lineup, you were a Canon guy in the past, but you asked me because I'm way too deep in the weeds for most people, and it was like, so you said, what kind of camera do you use? And I said, I use these, and I'm using that. And you're like, oh, I use Canon. I've used Canon in the past. What's the new Canon I should get? And you went out and bought it because you suck. And and but that was the thing that you were like. Because you said to me, you're going to be the one's going to have to show me how to use it. So I'm just going to get what you're comfortable with. And there again, that was always my analogy, that it's like, if you're hanging out with a bunch of Nikon guys, well, then you're going to buy a Nikon. And if you're hanging out with Canon guys, you're going to buy a Canon. So when people ask us, like, what DSP should they get? It's like, well, who's going to tune it for you? Are you going to tune it?
Right.
If you're going to tune it, you can get whatever you're comfortable with. But if you're going to rely on your local guy to tune it, you better get what he knows how to tune.
Correct.
Because you're going to be out of luck.
Yeah, no, 100%.
What do you think about a mono input from the DSP if you are out of DSP amp channels but have a single channel left for DSP, time align for closest speaker, and some EQ ability? Okay. Are we talking like rear speakers here?
All right, so this
Mono
is the second one right there.
Okay. I have it. Okay, so here we go. I have a two-way setup with tweets in the dash location. I think that I am missing out on some snare drum. They seem to be in the background. Foo Fighters, for example. This may just be audio production thoughts.
If your tweeters are mono, change something else so your tweeters could be stereo. Time alignment in a mono isn't going to do you anything other than if they're rear, you can delay them out to get some mono effects. But if it's your front speakers, you should always be running stereo, unless you're talking about maybe a motorcycle or a boat. When we were talking about this earlier, that there are some applications that's when you go to a big concert, it's mostly mono. You don't have the left on the big concert setup and right on the big concert setup. You have it all going into a mixer and they just EQ it because it's soundstage engineering versus car audio listening or 2-channel home. So that's the best that I can answer that question and have it make any sense.
Yeah. Have you ever done a situation where you just had one channel left and it's like you needed rear and you've used a mono?
All the time. Yeah. So if I have to do rears, it's almost always three-way front, and then somebody will ask for rears. The Mercedes, he wanted rear speakers that I just finished up. And I did a single mono into a 4-channel amp so I could EQ the rear.
Okay.
And then I used the crossover and the amplifier to separate and run everything active so you could still get volume, and the speakers were done that way.
Oh, look at you.
And then I delayed that out. Your delay on the rear should be about 5 milliseconds, but that's going to change depending on what your Bluetooth can handle, because if you take Bluetooth phone calls and you start getting an echo, it's usually because the rear channels are delayed too much.
What?
Yeah.
What? Did you miss? Oh, jeez. Yak deal. What a goofball.
Yeah, she missed the tacos.
Yeah. What the hell, man? You're going to have to settle for Taco Bell, man. Yeah. Dude, I was telling Fernando when we got back from SEMA, it was midnight, 1:30, or about 1 o'clock when I dropped him off at his house, and I was starving. And I was like, it's Saturday morning, Friday night, technically, whatever. Like, there's got to be something open. And for me, I have a Wendy's and a Taco Bell in the same parking lot right by my house. I was like, Wendy's is open till 2. Wendy's was not open till 2, but Taco Bell was. So chicken tacos it is with lots of hot sauce.
I would probably pick Taco Bell over Wendy's. I have a very small amount of things that I order from Taco Bell.
You have very small things you order from anything, and it's just
I'm very picky.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, not that kind of stuff.
We've been there.
Yeah, I'm not, but I am. Yeah.
Yeah, you are. You are. you are, but you're not. Like, I've seen you pull up with some stuff, and I'm going, oh my god, you're gonna eat that? Like, you're gonna die right here. And you're like, what are you talking about? I love Oreos.
Well, he's open.
I'm dipping my Oreos in my Red Bull. I don't know what you're talking about. Has anyone got any cheese for this? Dude, I tell you, anytime there's pizza rolls, I'm going, we need the queso. We got to get queso.
You got to put the queso in the refrigerator.
Well, it is in the refrigerator. That's what you dip your pretzels in.
Yeah, you got to put it. It's got to be cold.
Hello, guys. I have installed for years, but I am a noob with learning to tune a DSP. I saw Andy from Audio Frog Guide and his microphone for sale. Do you guys follow a general target curve like he does? Okay, I'm not even going to play with this. You can dive. How would you answer this without just take the Andy out of it and just?
No. Andy's target curve is fine. It's a little low on the high end. So his goes down 3 dB at the upper frequencies, mine's reasonably flat all the way out to 20.
Yeah.
As close as you
I mean,
can
I
with
have
the tweeters that you're using.
I have a whole argument about target curve, but I won't get into
Well,
that.
I mean, target curve is just where you start. So
It's not the finish line.
it's not the finish line, and if and don't ever think that the target curve is going to be the finish line. All the posts that show, these cool looking curves and everything else, I've yet to hear one that looked like that sounded like what I would want to hear. So either they sound over processed if they do, something. It's just a start. So
I think that should call the starting curve, because that's how you start, right? And
well, I mean, no, I mean, so that's like step 5 for me,
Okay.
to get to the target curve. So when I tune, my first thing that I do is I take each individual speaker and I try to make a flat line for the frequency response that I'm trying to recreate with it. And I'm always very conscious of what the speakers can play. So if they're going to play from 5,000 up, they're going to slowly roll off after 5,000. After 5,000, I don't worry too much. I try to make them look like that. But my goal is 5,000 up. They're nice and flat as the speakers can do acoustically in the car. Each speaker does that. So you start with a nice flat line before you put them all together. Once you put them all together, then you're looking at the target curve, and you're going to adjust, the output of the tweeters versus the mid-range, because that's very difficult to do. Even if you're doing everything you're supposed to and you're looking at the SPL meter at the same time you're tuning, once you put them together, you may have some loss or gain depending on if they're summing together well, or if there's some cancellation. So you almost always have to adjust the volume level of one set of speakers versus the other to get it in that target curve. The target curve is good for that. You can follow that kind of, basically, and then it's not going to be a flat line all the way across. It's going to start ramping up about 200 hertz, and you're going to ramp up to bass. And the bass, if you follow the target curve, you're probably never going to have enough bass. So I try not to worry about that until the very end, and that's works well for me, and the outcomes are usually pretty good.
I mean, they're okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you got speakers in the doors, so I mean, you suck. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a firm believer of, and there again, we're tuning for two. Not always, but some, for me, I'm tuning for the customer and what they've asked for, and I want them to be happy. And you're doing the same thing, but a lot of times you're tuning for trophies.
Well, we say that. I mean, there's never been anybody who's got into one of the cars that I tuned and went, "Ooh, this sounds just like an Iasca tune." They get it and go, "Wow, that does everything that it's supposed to do." So
you're special, okay?
Sounds like Brian tune.
It sounds like a Brian.
Super special. When people go to trainings, it's one of the things that I ask. I go, "Are you guys looking to just do an okay tune to come to this training?" And everybody's like, yeah, sort of. I don't know. And I said, who wants to be the most awesome tuner ever? And everybody raises their hands. So when people go to a training, that's what their goal is to be good enough that they can make a car sound like the person that they're going to listen to train. I mean, they don't go to, if they don't know who it is training, then they usually don't go. That's, so they have to have some desire to tune like that person. They like to sound.
I feel, and you're saying the exact same thing. I feel like learning what each thing is doing, and how to fix something, I think is the most important thing. Yeah. Learning why it's making that sound, and what do I need to do to not have it make that sound I don't like, or how to get the sound that I want that it's not doing. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
What set up the winner of the California EMA SQL for the win? How do you build an SQL system? With 310s in the back.
So SQL is SQ Loud is what I'm assuming that he's talking about. That's a term that's gone around. I'm not sure.
I don't get it either.
How to identify that versus a regular SQ tune, but I am thinking he's talking about one of those ones where they're listening out the back of the truck, sort of a demo wall type thing.
Ooh, Emma style, dancing in the back. Oh
yeah, Emma SQL win. Okay. So we have one competitor in California, and he does really well. He practices up on that format and does a really good job. I got to be honest with you, I don't pay attention to it. It's not my deal, so I don't even know what he's got in there. I could say 15 different things, and none of them would drive you right.
Hold on, not that one. Yeah,
no,
I'm getting there. It popped up. So I've heard everything Brian says. Getting in my truck and amazing, mind blown. But okay, it's Mike though. I mean, let's be honest.
He was mind blown when he got the
yeah. I mean,
the turkey sandwich.
The turkey sandwich blows his mind. So let's I don't know if that's
the red truck does sound pretty damn good. Two-way and factory location.
Is amazing for sure. I was actually talking to somebody about that the other day when they were, and I was like, Brian's like, I was talking to somebody about a Blackbird, and I was like, Brian Mitchell literally just threw the Blackbird in the center console of his truck.
So I heard one car, and then I heard Brian's Mitchell truck, and I say, dude, that's not, no, it's impossible.
I think you said it wasn't fair, right?
It wasn't fair. No, it's like, what is the other speakers? Come on, show me. Yeah.
The red truck is amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. The first time I heard the red truck, you still had factory 6x9s in it. You were lying to me. You're like, oh no, we put speakers there.
Prototypes.
yeah, lying sack of shit.
There's nothing really special about anything that I do on the tuning, though. That's the thing. Is everybody
and the eye is like
Yeah.
Nothing special.
I just spend the time to think about what's going on.
Yes.
And the truck took a lot of time versus the car. The truck has probably 5 times the time. I'm probably in the truck 10 hours, 12 hours of tuning to get it to where it is.
I can see that though, because you also have limited resources.
Right, because you got to overcome certain things because of the installation of two-way and factory locations. But it's been a learning experience to help me teach other people of what's going on. And the very first part of tuning that was with the RTA, obviously. And I used Nathan Budiano's 5 microphone setup or 7 microphone setup and Smart. And it looked great on the RTA. I was like, man, this is going to be super easy. And I got in it and I was like, holy shit, this doesn't sound good at all. So I had to work around those, around the install and where the speakers were located to get that out of it. So
it's okay. What kind of glue do you use to connect the sidecar panels back for door speakers, if not a snap-on? Woo, I don't. What kind of glue?
If they not snap-on,
who uses glue? Who's gluing anything?
Nobody uses glue. Mercedes has rivets.
Yeah.
Might need more information on that one to answer that question.
Yeah, definitely. Mike is just going crazy. He's your number one fan, I think.
Mike's an awesome guy.
Okay, now I'm
his number one fan.
I think. Oh, please, please, you can't. His voice kills you. What are you trying to say?
Shut up, Dean.
Shut up. What?
I was born in New York, so the Boston accent doesn't bother me that much.
It doesn't bother me either. It just it actually adds to the humor of the conversation we get to have. I mean, it's just like, oh great, now I have to pick on that. So
yeah,
now I have to learn his accent. Wonderful.
It's
wonderful time. Speaking of wonderful time, we're about 5 minutes out, and I know there might be a whose accent exactly. There might be one or two, but is there anything you got going on that you'd like to talk about? Because we got any. I know you're getting ready to go on another trip, the last trip of the year.
Oh yes, Mexico. Not necessarily the last trip, but it's the next. I think it's the next trip. Mexico.
Where else would you be going?
Don't break.
I got trainings. People are wanting trainings all over the place.
Oh, okay. So yeah, don't break your foot. Good call. What are you doing in Mexico?
Me, Robert, Scott Welch, Nick Wallace, Lori Wallace, and Clifton, I believe. Oh, and
yep.
Another one of my friends that I apologize, I forgot his name because it's not coming to my head right now. I can picture him, but I can't picture his name.
Yep.
We're going down to judge a money round in Monterrey, Mexico, put on by I believe Leo Leal is the promoter, and
this guy right here, Eddie, he's in Monterrey.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's involved in it. It should be an awesome event. They've had it for a couple of years, and so they're flying us in, all American judges, to judge the show.
They're just gonna take them all captive.
I would never take them captive.
No, they're gonna.
No. They're gonna take you captive. You're gonna take all the
that's what they
think. You guys gonna do all our cars. That's awesome. All right, so Brian, what was your favorite finals?
My favorite finals. Oh, I don't know. I mean, they've all been great. Different people, different times. Probably winning the Culberson Cup, even though there was only one. It was only Mecca there that year during the pandemic.
Okay.
So that was probably my favorite one. Just and you guys just went out to the.
Yeah, he went to the bathroom, so it's like.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So what cup was that?
The Culberson Cup. Yeah, Nathan will get it this year because he's. Did
they have Butterburgers there?
No, that was in Tennessee, right outside of Nashville. I'm not sure what they had there.
No, it's Culver's, the restaurant. You guys don't have Culver's?
I don't know.
Oh, you guys probably don't have those. Oh, it's a hamburger chain down here.
They're good.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
I've never been there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't eat red meat. Duh. No, they have these things called Butterburgers.
Yeah, if you cook it, it's not red anymore.
I don't know, but it's
you just cook it a little longer. It's not red.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like you and Nathan just kind of fight back.
Oh, Nathan's been doing great the last couple of years. Doing awesome. He's a good friend, and whenever he wins, I feel good, and whenever I win, I feel better.
Me too.
He would say the same thing. So
No, he wouldn't. He says, when Brian wins, I feel terrible. I have to go back and change something. Yeah, you can't win nothing. No, it's you suck. Well, that's it. That's the time. Thank you so much for coming on and us ruining your Saturday and doing
make you behind on the project.
Yeah. What are you working on right now, anyways?
22 Dodge Ram Mega Cab for Teresa Bruno, Mark Bruno, the Purple Challenger's wife. She had a system that we did in 2020, I believe, 19 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're doing that one. Oh, the muscle T-shirt. Yeah.
You should get the muscle T-shirt.
Yeah. So if any of you guys want to pick up Brian's shirt, you can find it at dnfswag.com. We do have normal shirts, but I mean, everyone wants the sexy one for sure. Yeah. And of course,
it's got a Frenchie on the back too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes. Of course, it has a Frenchie on the back.
Yeah, it's got a Frenchie on the back.
Yep. So there it is. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to have a Frenchie on the back. DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can go and find all the cool tools, such as the IRTA2, which Brian thankfully uses in his trainings to show people how to deal with that pain in the butt input EQ and all the other fun things.
Yeah, that's in my actually in my computer bag. I carry it everywhere I go. It's one of the few tools. I got my computer for tuning, and I got the IRTA and an iPad for doing integration.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, like doing just a training on all the things that you could do with an IRTA2, like, because it's a long list, but it is like that would be kind of interesting. I don't think I'll ever do it, but
if you plug it in the wall and you put a sandwich on top of it,
well, it would be in Boston.
It would cook your sandwich. So you can put that on there.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much for playing along with us. It's Saturday night. You guys do Saturday night things. Make sure you make it back here on Monday.
Thank you, Brian.
A quick note: we will not be doing this next Saturday. Unfortunately, I have a wedding to go to, but we'll be here Monday, and we'll have Matthew Palumbo and possibly Jeff Smith.
Not 100%.
Touch and go.
Yeah,
we don't know, but definitely we'll have Matthew Palumbo, and we're just going to do a Q&A show. It's got nothing to do with audio control. He's in town. He's like just like this. He just wanted to come on and say hi and play.
You force him.
I forced Brian. I did force Brian to come on, but thank you for spending your time with us, guys. You have a wonderful night, and we'll see you later next time.
Bye, guys.